these people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect, the way they do today. People are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean?
Let's dive into this Houston situation because, wow, it's got everything. A real clash of titans going on.
Absolutely. You got 50 Cent on one side, always the independent operator, right?
Right. And then there's Jay Prince. I mean, the absolute OG of the Houston rap scene.
Yeah.
His influence is just legendary down there.
And the core of this whole thing seems to be this alleged check-in system, this idea that's been floating around.
Yeah, the whole kiss the ring expectation when you roll into H-Town.
Exactly. The story goes, if you're a big name, you're supposed to, acknowledge Jay Prince when you land in Houston.
And 50 Cent. Apparently, not so much. Just kind of skip that part.
That's the word on the street, and it seems like that's really sparked this tension that's been, simmering for a while.
Simmering is right. And then, bam, Tony Yayo jumps in.
Oh man, Yayo's comments basically just lit the whole internet on fire, didn't they?
Totally.
Yeah.
He really offered his perspective on it all. But this check-in thing, it's not new, right? People have talked about it for years.
No, it's been part of the Houston lore. You come to the city, you gotta show respect to Jay Prince. He's seen as this major behind-the-scenes player.
People literally say his moves can shake the whole city's scene. That's some serious power.
It really is. But then you contrast that with 50 Cent's entire history. He's always been like a lone wolf.
Never folding, never bowing down. That's his brand.
And you think back to when G-Unit first hit big, they weren't exactly asking for permission, were they?
No way. They didn't check in anywhere, didn't kiss any rings, and they definitely didn't pay anyone for, protection.
Their whole vibe was, we run this now. So that philosophy was bound to clash with the Houston way of doing things, potentially.
So 50 actually moving to Houston a while back. That felt significant, more than just changing his address.
Oh, absolutely. It felt like a potential, power move. An empire shift, maybe.
Could be. And the rumors started swirling pretty fast about why things might be escalating. The main one being Jay Prince felt disrespected.
Yeah, the lack of that check-in, that acknowledgement. In that world, respect is, everything.
So the alleged response, word was there were attempts to maybe put the squeeze on 50, establish a kind of no-fly zone for him in Houston.
That was the chatter, trying to exert that established pressure.
But 50's reaction, classic 50, really. He hits Instagram.
Yep, slick memes, petty captions, the works. He basically turned the whole thing into this public online spectacle.
Which is kind of brilliant in its own way, right? Taking the confrontation digital.
It's definitely his playbook, using social media almost like a weapon or maybe a shield, controlling the narrative, adding humor. It sort of disarms this situation, in a way.
Keeps everyone watching him on his terms. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Go on.
While all this, let's call it alleged drama, is supposedly happening, 50's actually digging roots in Houston, like proper roots.
Right, he was setting up that film studio, huge deal, even though it eventually moved.
Exactly, and his G-Unity program was getting active, doing stuff in the community, helping young entrepreneurs, real investment.
And then the city itself rolls out the red carpet.
Seriously. They give him the key to the city. They declare an official 50 Cent day.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big endorsement.
It's a massive contrast, isn't it? You have these sort of underground whispers of conflict based on old school street rules. And then you have the official city leadership basically saying, welcome, we value what you're bringing here. It highlights a totally different kind of power.
One based on economic impact and community work, not just street rep.
Precisely, which makes Tony Yayo's comments even more explosive when they dropped.
Oh man, he did not hold back. Calling the check-in game extortion with a smile. That's a direct quote.
Whoa, that's blunt.
Super blunt. And he brought up Pop Smoke's tragic situation too, sort of a cautionary tale maybe. Suggesting relying on those kinds of street alliances isn't always the safest bet.
Bringing Pop Smoke into it is heavy. It implies real danger associated with navigating these unwritten rules. It really makes you question what that kind of protection even means.
Yeah, add the darker layer to it all. And it's not the only story that feeds into this narrative. Remember the NBA YoungBoy incident in Houston?
Vaguely, yeah. What was the deal there again?
Well, the story was his stuff got stolen. Supposedly because he, again, didn't do the whole check-in thing.
Okay.
Then Jay Prince gets involved, posts on Instagram about getting young boys' chains or whatever back, like
Yeah.
playing the fixer role.
Ah, right, the public intervention.
But young boy wasn't having it. He basically called him out publicly for like clout chasing, said he didn't ask for his help.
Ouch. That's a direct challenge to that authority, isn't it? It suggests maybe the younger generation isn't buying into that old system in the same way.
Exactly. It shows a potential crack in that established way of doing things. And then there are those other whispers.
The dice games.
Yeah, these persistent rumors about high-stakes dice games, allegedly linked back to Jay Prince or his circle. Stories about setups, people losing big.
Those stories have been around for a long time in different forms.
Right. And then, tragically, Takeoff dies after a dice game incident in Houston. And you hear those quiet, unconfirmed links, again, whispers about maybe not checking in, playing a part somehow. It's disturbing.
It is. And you have to be careful. These are rumors and whispers, but they add to the overall picture, the perception.
And don't forget Duke the jeweler, the guy who reportedly just vanished after winning big money at a dice game, also in Houston. It all paints this kind of murky background.
It contributes to this narrative of potential consequences if you don't play by certain rules, whether it's all true or just perception building over time.
So look at the two pictures. You've got Jay Prince, who seems from the outside to be holding on to this traditional kind of street-level power, this street crown.
The established gatekeeper, based on that historical influence.
And then you've got 50 Cent, literally getting keys to the city, running charity programs, being celebrated by the official leadership.
It's such a stark contrast in the type of influence being wielded, isn't it?
Totally. So it forces the question, like, who really runs Houston now? Or maybe, what does running Houston even mean anymore?
Is it the power that operates through those alleged street networks and unspoken rules?
Or is the power that comes from mainstream success, public approval, and, actual civic engagement recognized by the city itself?
That really is the million-dollar question here. We might be seeing a collision, a real tension between those old-school hip-hop power structures and, well, a newer model.
A model based maybe more on corporate success and public image.
Could be. That key to the city is a powerful symbol of that potential shift. It's official recognition versus unofficial enforcement.
Exactly. Which makes you think, maybe this isn't just about 50 versus Jay Prince, maybe it's bigger.
How so?
Like maybe it signals a larger change happening across the whole hip-hop industry. A fundamental shift in how respect, power, and influence are earned, and maybe more importantly, how they're maintained in 2024.
That's a fascinating thought. Is the old guard's way fading as a new kind of influence takes hold? Definitely something to keep chewing on.